Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new project. This is a Christmas project, as you can see. This is a project for Scrap and Create, and you can get all your supplies there. I will have a link down below. I will also have a link down below to the cutting guide for this project. If you have not already seen the walkthrough video, go ahead and watch that so you know what we're making. And that's it, let's get going. Again, this is Stamperia Romantic Collection Christmas. I have two 12 by 12 and two 8 by 8, and I have the, if I can find it, I'll show it to you. I have the card collection. I have wooden shapes here somewhere. Hang on. Well, I don't know what I did with the wooden shapes, but I have two rice papers, but I think one is going to be for another project, so I'm going to pull that off the table. Drop it here, and I have these wooden shapes, and we may use some flowers. I have some very pretty white flowers. I may save those for a different project, but I know I have some in my stash as well. So that is what we have to work with. And I am using craft cardstock. And I'm kind of excited because we're making a 6 by 6, which I haven't done in a little while, and it's pretty much my favorite size, I think. One of my favorites. Anyway, so I've already made my base pages, but I left one. You need 4 pages. The cutting guide will tell you need 8 pieces, 6 by 6.5. And you're going to take the 6.5 side, score it a 1/2 inch on all of them, tape and trim your corners. Now, do be aware that my particular paper trimmer does not cut accurately around the 6-inch mark. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Loud noise outside. It doesn't cut accurately, so sometimes my base pages are slightly off, but that's okay. So what I'm doing is just lining that up. You can see here's that, and line it up across the top. I mean, if you can make them perfectly accurately, do. I just can't because of my paper trimmer. I could make them bigger and trim them down so they're perfect, but I just don't want to use the paper. And then this side is just going to come over it. And what happens to me typically is, I don't know if you can see it, is one side is just sticking out slightly. And that's fine because I'll just put that side down into my spine and it won't even be noticeable. I'm just lining up the opposite corner, and because mine are slightly uneven, I'm making sure I line up with the same side that's already even, so I only have one side that's a little wonky. Okay, there we go. Cute. Okay, so for page 1, we need a piece 3 by 7, and we need a piece 6 by 5.5. The 3 by 7 is a pocket, and we are going to score that. Each of the short sides at 1/2 inch. And whoever's making the noise is back. And a 1/2. Okay, and what do I do with this piece? And the piece that is 6 by 5.5, you're going to put the 5.5 side at the top and score at 1/2 inch. Okay. Super easy. And we are going to tape. I have no idea what that was. I don't know. My computer was telling me something, but I don't know what. Should have got out a fresh baby wipe. That's the one from my old project, but that's okay. I'll get one. This is 3/8 inch score tape that I am using. The other adhesive that I use is art glitter glue, which if you have not already, you should be ordering extra, because as soon as it gets cold, you cannot get it anymore. It can't be shipped in the cold. I also will occasionally use Fabri-Tac. Those are pretty much the only adhesives that I use I do use, what is this, Colavello. It's for rice paper, but it's basically matte Mod Podge, so that would be the other adhesive. Okay. And just trim my corners. My scissors are a hot mess. Just clear some of the gunk off of them. When my scissors get really, really, really gunked up, kind of like these are right now, I will clean them with my undo. Since it's designed to take off adhesive, I figured it looks, and it does work. And just thinking out loud to myself here. You want to put your sides in first. This is a pocket, so you put the sides in first and then the bottom. And let's check that for fit. And I want that on the side going, where am I? Hang on, this is page 1. Yeah, on the side going into the spine. So I'm getting myself a visual, and that looks like a good fit. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna need magnets. Hang on. I have my little cart over here. You know what I'm going to do while I'm thinking of it? From my kitchen to hold my tools that I'm using immediately. So keep misplacing them. And one of you reminded me, just, you know, put your tools in something while you're working, and then you won't lose them. Which, of course, should have been obvious to me, but apparently wasn't. Okay, so stick that over there. Maybe we won't lose them. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this pocket first. And I need a tool, and it's handy now. Except I grabbed the wrong one. Okay. I think I need to put some sort of washi tape or something on those to help me identify the ones I use the most. These come in a set of 3, and there's 2 of them that I use all the time. The third one I almost never use. Okay, here we go. And then I am going to put this, this side, as I said, is just a little bit wonky for me, so I am going to just put this up just a hair from the edge. And that's 100% up to you if you want to do that or not. Whoop, that ripped. Sometimes if you hold it down too much to keep it in place, the paper on the back of the tape ends up tearing. What I just did. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that looks good. And I also need to get a little trash can. And then this flap's going to go on this side. Now that I've been in my house for over a year now, I'm just finally getting around to sort of deciding how I want to arrange everything. Seems like the whole first year is spent basically just getting used to the house and fixing the immediate, this has to be replaced or fixed right now kind of things. That only just now am I kind of getting around to more of the extras. And I'm going to use magnets. Tape. just did horses because my scraps are from that collection. I have. Although actually yesterday I was just working on something from Alice, which you may have already seen because it may go up before this. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get a little ahead of it with the holidays coming. And, ooh, that's a little close for matting. I'm trying to decide, do I want to move it? I think I do. I don't want to, might as well do it now while I have the opportunity rather than fuss with that mat. So let's put this down first. I should have done that magnet first because it's at the narrower space. Let's put that there. Tearing the paper a little bit. That's okay. It's not too bad. Okay. It's only moving it a little bit, but when we get to the matting, it's going to be a lot easier to not have it so close to the edge. Okay, so that is page 1. Page 2, check my book, is I believe angled pockets. Yes, angled pockets. So for this, I cut a square, 6 by 6. Okay. 6 by 6 square, and just cut it in half diagonally. Okay. And we are going to score the straight sides. Did I score that on the wrong line? I did. Okay, hang on. I scored that on 3/8. Thought it looked a little narrow. Okay, so the one that I just scored like that, okay, hang on, that goes like that, it's gonna go like that. So this one's gonna go here, and this one is gonna go there. So I want to, hang on, yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, they're the same size no matter how I do it, so I just wanna make sure I'm scoring correctly. If you're doing triangles that are not perfect triangles like these, you know, one side longer than the other, it's not a right triangle or something, or whatever the word is, I forget. You're gonna wanna make sure you score correctly. These I could go either way, but that's that. Okay, now this corner here, we're gonna have to cut at a pretty steep angle. So you don't really have to tape all the way out to the end if you're in need of saving tape. trim the corners. And pretty much if you hold this so this is straight, if you cut this at 90 degrees to that, you're usually just about right. It over. I see it's right, but I think I want to trim a little bit more off. Both of these are fine. Neither one is hanging over, but just in the interest of being absolutely sure, I'm going to trim a little bit more. Okay. And this is going to go here like that. So I want to make sure the bottom one is on the outside, just like any other pocket. And that is going to go there. Okay. Double check before you put them down that you are in fact putting them on the bottom. That is the bottom. Okay. And line up along the bottom and the side. Like that. Okay. And I'm gonna get this one. Alright. Sorry, just stepped aside for a moment to answer a text from my sister. I do have brothers as well. I always mention my sister and I never mention my brothers, but I do have brothers as well. Because I just don't see them as often. There we go. Alright, and this one is going to go down here. So this needs to be on the outside. Sorry, I'm not sure that is going to be work out because it makes such a racket every time I put a tool in or out of it. I'm going to have to get something a little quieter. Maybe I'll make a box out of paper or something. Or maybe I have some plastic around. I try not to use plastic as much as I can avoid it. But I do have some, I think I have a few old plastic storage containers, so maybe one of those will work. I pretty much switched over totally to glass. Whoops, that is way too far in. Okay, let's see that. Okay, let's try that again. I don't mind being a little in because that's actually the side that's going to be where the spine is, but I didn't want to be that far in. There we go. Okay. Perfect. And I think that side. Okay, page 3 I can't do yet. And page 4. I can do page 4, and then we'll mat. Page 3 is the stacked envelopes. Hi, Jolly. Poor Jolly trying to figure out how to get over here because there's so much stuff. Okay. Now these form a tube, so make sure your openings are right and left. I should have mentioned that on the first page. I think many of you watching are experienced at this kind of thing, but some of you may be new. And welcome if you are new, and don't be intimidated. This is one of those things that's a lot easier sometimes to do than you think it is. Hi. Okay. So page 3 we're ignoring for now. There we go. And page 4, again, I have a cutting guide, so all this is in there. You don't have to write it down. We need 4 pieces that are 6 by 3. We're just going to do a pinwheel, which is something I do a lot. After a while, there's only so many different things you can do. Hey, Jolly. Whoops. My cats are Holly and Jolly. I'm sure you can guess when I got them. Their gotcha day is coming up in November. All right. If you can't see, oh, there she goes. Watch the tail, baby. We are, oh, don't step on the computer, honey. Oh, yes, I know you don't like that. Sorry. We are putting tape in the area we just scored as usual. She's mad because I wouldn't let her go step on the computer, but it's recording the audio for this video right now, so. Let's see the little tail. Oh, you're gonna go over there? Okay. Maybe. All right. Let's go. She's got in her little bed. And we don't really need to trim these corners because they're kind of like a waterfall. All right, so what these are going to do is go, just like I said, around, and let me start down here. So it's going to go here, 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 and here, like that. And you can line these up perfectly like that if you want, right with the edge, but I like to bring them in a little bit. It gives a little extra visual interest because you can see the mat a little bit. And also, it prevents the side that has the spine from this catching on it all the time. So, up to you. I am putting mine in, as you will see in a moment. And I haven't chosen yet. You will have seen it already because you've seen the walkthrough, but I haven't yet chosen my accent color for this book. I have a beautiful bright red. I'm afraid it might be too bold, but it goes really nice with the collection. Okay, that's 3. Oh, there's 3. Right. And I'm gonna come in, I'm just eyeballing the first one and then I'll eyeball the rest to match it. But I think it's about 3/8 of an inch. Doesn't look like quite a quarter. But let's see, measure and see how. It is, or 3/16 is what I meant to say, and that's exactly what it is, 3/16. Okay. After many years of doing all kinds of things that require accurate measurement, I've got a pretty good eye for it. I watch somebody on YouTube who cooks, so it's nothing to do with this, and will often say, while cutting things, you know, cut this 1/4 of an inch, and I'm looking at it and thinking, that is nowhere near 1/4 of an inch. It's like a 1/2 inch or something like that. I always, but of course I don't like to leave comments. So, I mean, I'll leave a nice comment like, oh, how lovely, or that looks delicious, or whatever, but I wouldn't leave a snarky comment about measuring, but I'm always like, anybody in the paper crafting community or sewing could tell you in a heartbeat that that is not a 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Looking good. And then this one goes here. This page always looks really nice and it's super easy to make. I used to do a more complicated waterfall, and it's a pinwheel waterfall kind of thing. But the end result looked very similar and it was a lot harder to do. So I kind of have defaulted to this version instead. Okay, now, the nice thing about this is we only need one magnet right there. And it will hold everything else in place. Or one pair of magnets, I should say, or a magnet and a piece of metal, if you like to do it that way, which would certainly save a lot of money. I mentioned it before that I just haven't found a metal disc that works for me or that I like. Put that far enough down so that I can mat. And then lift these out of the way because we're going to put the magnet on the base. There, and there. Okay, now let's mat these and then we'll do the others. So let me set these aside. These are the rest of the pages. That. Okay, so I have got 12 by 12 and 8 by 8. Round out an 8 by 8 and a 12 by 12. And I think for here, because that's what you're going to see when you first open, there's a Santa that I think will fit there. This. Unless I want to use one of these cards. That one's really nice, but I don't think it's as dramatic as the Santa. It's a little small. Let me just check too, because we have the card collection, if there's anything in there that we would want. Hang on. There was no die cuts for this collection. There were no die cuts for this collection, I should say. So I got these cards, which I like. I use these in another project. Not obviously from this collection, but from the matching collection. And they're nice to have. All right, so let's see what we have. Little ephemera pieces. Those are nice. Tags. Another tag. That's cute. It's too small for what I'm looking for. There's a card made. It's really cute. It's also a full card, so that can be an insert. This is the one I was thinking of. So let me set these aside. I need to get one of those little envelopes that I have for those. I would have to trim that down. I think I'm going to go with my original idea of Santa. Okay, so I need a piece 5 7/8 by 4 7/8, and he is just gonna fit the bill. Okay, this is the 12 by 12, obviously. So let me explain what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna cut just to one side of him. I'll cut a strip. And then I am going to cut just to the top of him, and then I'll trim around until I get the size I need. Okay, so what I ended up doing is I actually cut the height first so that I could keep this piece whole. And then I trimmed off all the rest of the stuff to get my size. And you can see what I was saying about how bright red might be a good accent for this, but we'll see. Okay, so he's gonna go there. And actually, the back of this, do we want to use that for the pocket? Okay, we'll use that piece somewhere. This piece is not tall enough, but the back of it is. Hang on. Let's also look at our 8x8, see if there's something. So, hang on. Whoops. I just want to have this up because whatever it is has to go nicely with him. I think I want that somewhere else I have in mind. This doesn't have much contrast. Let's see, I have plenty of these cut apart, so it's okay if we do that. This doesn't give me much contrast either, but it goes really well if I put this piece here, or even that one, but I think it's going to be that. So if I do that, and then we put this here, okay, and then Santa will be fine there, okay. And then we just need something for there, which we can figure out. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut these pieces. So this is 5 7/8 by 4 7/8, and this is 5 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there. We're gonna put that there. And actually, we could put this side of it in there if we wanted, or maybe this. That would be good. So that needs to be 4 inches by 5 7/8. Okay. There. And there. Okay, that's good. Let's get those glued down and then we'll do the next one. And we want to ink, certainly. And I think, do we want to use vintage photo? I don't think so. I think vintage photo's not quite right. Let's use walnut stain. Happy with this already. It's our very first page. Okay, this is my little flexible metal ruler. I have it linked, or if not this one, I have one similar linked below. Perfect for burnishing inside the pockets. Here we go. Santa. Okay, And then on this side, we have, now these are going to be angled, so we can cut a square and cut it in half and get these mats, but it has to be something that can be rotated. And then we have something for here, and here we are. I was thinking we could use maybe this piece because it doesn't need to be full height. I think that might be good. Let me cut this now. I want to get all of, well, I think Merry Christmas is going to be cut off, whatever I do, because it's going to be in the pocket. I still like it though, so I think I'm going to use it. All right, let me cut this to size, at least to width. All right, so I cut it 5 7/8 wide. It's still too tall, I'm sure, but this way we can get it in there. It's actually too wide, maybe? No, it's fine. Okay, so if I cut it, that's too, all right. So that's I think that's okay. I'm okay with that. Because remember, things are going to be in these buckets, so. All right, so I want to cut this. I'm just going to mark it rather than try to measure it. Right about there. Okay. And I did cut a teeny tiny bit off that side just to make it a little easier to get into this pocket. All right, we might as well go ahead and put that in so we know that's going to be the mat. And again, concentrating most of the glue at the top and not too much at all. Further down. Okay. I get that and get it centered very well. That's okay. That's where I trimmed a little off, so maybe I shouldn't have, but I just thought it'd be easier to get it in the pocket. Okay. Now, what are we going to put here? Let me go back. Let me go to the 12 by 12. Let's see. Because I can either cut 2 pieces and just, I'll have to waste some and use them maybe in a collage somewhere, or find something that I can rotate. And look at that. I could rotate this easy because it's just snowflakes. Okay, so that's a possibility. That would be a little trickier to rotate. Can't rotate that or that. Oh, I could definitely rotate that, and it goes nice. What's on the other side of this? Ooh, I like this piece a lot, but that's okay because, as I was just saying, I have multiples. So let's use this. All right, so if you remember, we cut this 6 by 6. So I'm going to cut a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 square and cut that in half. Okay. So I cut this from the side that had the typewriter. Oops, that's a different scrap. What did I do with the other scrap? Hang on. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that was up there, and the typewriter was down here. And that's where I cut my square, like that. So we still have quite a bit from this sheet that we can use. All right, now we're probably gonna have to trim these down quite a bit, but that will get us started. Actually, we're having to trim these a lot. Okay, hang on. What did I do? Oh, I didn't take into account the 1/2 inch that we took off. So this was actually 5 1/2 by the time we finished. All right, so you would need to cut 4 7/8, not 5 7/8. Okay, so I cut mine too big, but that's okay. So what I am going to do I always cut them a little big anyway. Is just lay it on there like that. And then I'm just gonna mark where I want to cut it. So I'm cutting a little bit more than you will be. And I basically cut an inch off, so that makes sense given how I didn't do it correctly. Actually, I might want to put this one on this side. And then this one, there, yeah. And then I will trim. Well, if I do that, hang on, I'm talking aloud to myself. Let me put that back where I had it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it the way. Okay. The way I originally intended. Make a mark. Should be about an inch, give or take. Oops, I feel like I cut that wrong. I left more around the edge than I intended on this one, but that's all right. It's fine. All right. Cute. Okay. Page 1, done. Set that aside. Now, page 3 is the one we didn't do anything to. It's the one that's going to have the stacked envelope on it. And it does need a background. So let's see if there's anything I want to use. We have this, but it kind of covers all that nice text. And it's a little similar to what we just did. This kind of suits it because it has mail on it. It's nice and bright. Okay, yeah, let's use that. Okay, so this is going to have to be 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Here, we just need, well, obviously we need something on all the flaps, but we need a full piece for here. I'm going to go back to the 8 by 8. Got the little girl hanging the stockings. Let me look at what I have coming to see if there's somewhere I'd rather use that. There's a lot of places, so it doesn't really matter. Those little birds might be sweet. I've got these in a 12 by 12 as well. I think if I use those, I'll probably use them from the 12 by 12, because otherwise I'll have to cut through a bird, which I don't want to do. Ooh, that would be cool. Because we're going to lose the little singing. I'm not really opposed to that. Because we can always put a little something there. But I don't know though. I'm feeling like it might bother me to have just letters that don't go with anything. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Just got to take. Oh, I'm gonna have to go get a drink of water. Hang on. Let's see. I'm just looking to see. Oh. Hang on. So would one of these work as a to hide that? I think it would be very obvious I was trying to hide something. Okay, so not you. Now this might be pretty. It's on the other side of the birds. Ooh, you know what though? I have a spot where I want to use that. Sorry, I'm dithering. This is what always happens to me. Oh, now we have the ornaments that are on the other side of this clock. Yeah. How about that? Because you're going to put a picture here anyway. Okay, that's what we'll do. Checking that for fit. That is good. Sort of haven't worked it out in my head, but let me see. I think I'm using the same 12 by 12. Not the same one we just used, but like a sheet of 12 by 12, one sheet. If I can pick one. This is a very subtle collection. There's not a lot going on the pages, which makes it easy and difficult at the same time. Maybe these letters, which we've already done in a different thing. Okay, let's pull that out. Where is, I just want to look at that other page. Yeah, we did it in the, I just want to make sure we did a different size so it's not too obvious. Okay, so what I'm thinking is these are 3 inches wide, right? So yeah, so 2 7/8 and 2 7/8 is 5 3/4, right? So if I cut a 5 3/4 inch, 5 3/4 there, but then I'm gonna need, all right, it's actually not what we need. Hang on. 5 3/8. So 2 7/8 and 5 3/8 is 8 1/4, right? So if I cut, I'm thinking aloud to myself. try this. We'll see where we get. I'm gonna cut a piece 8 1/4 square. I may do 8 1/2 just to give myself a cushion. So 8 1/2 square. All right. So what I'm gonna want. All right. So this is. I want a piece 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. I'm gonna turn this over. So 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. That way. And I don't want to go past that line when I cut. You don't have to fuss the way I am with this, but I'm just trying something. And I'm gonna have to use my little trimmer that I don't like to do this. Alright, let me make sure, did I measure that right? Before I 2 7/8. Past the line, but I think it'll be all right. Okay. All right. So that's going to go there, like that. Then this lower corner here, I want 2 7/8 by, what did I say for my length? I just already forgotten. 5 3/8. Okay. And this piece is going to go from there, so I can cut that one already. I just need to cut the length, but so this is 2 7/8, which is hard to see on this particular cutter. Story of my life. I am just going to mark it with a pencil if I can find one. Move that a little so you can see. I'm just laying the back down. I'll cut it. I have to cut it from the front because this cutter leaves divots. I swear I'm going to buy a good one of these days. Keep watching the ads, people. Click like, share, subscribe, all that stuff so I can get a new cutter. Okay, here we go. Now I can't even see where I made the mark. There it is. Okay. Here. And then I need to cut it 5 3/8. Okay, that's going there. See what I'm doing, I think. That's going there. I'm really fussing way more than needs to be done, so please don't feel you have to do it this way. I just got a bee in my bonnet that I wanted to try it, so. Okay, and then this one goes over here, 5 3/4. So I think, because then the next one is going to go here. So I think I'm okay, or 5 3/8. So I think I'm okay if I just put this in here at 5 3/8. Okay, and then this is cut a little bit because I overcut the other one. 2 7/8. And I need to mark that because, like I said, can't see it. It where I don't really want to, but you can't see it. I think I'm going to cut it off the bottom. Which is right at that. Okay. Okay, so that one is going to go there. That's got a magnet, so it doesn't want to go in. Okay, that's fine. And then this one is going to go here. So I just these aren't even all going to line up or even all be seen at once, but I'm just liking the idea of doing it this way. And 5 3/8. Okay, again, do not feel like you have to fuss like that. I just, like I said, I just wanted to try it and see if I liked it. All right, so that one's going there. That one is going to go there. This one is going to go here. And this one is going to go here. So this is the red that I was thinking of for the accent, and I know it's super bold, but I kind of like it. Because what other color would we use, really? I mean, black? I'm gonna go for it. Why not? If you don't like it, use something else. It's Christmas. All right. 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. Since this is so many subtle colors, but it does have the bright reds, so like I said, I'm going for it. I'm not going to ink these. Okay, I like that. I'm so glad I went with that. Okay, there. I'll cover that. Now, I have been recording for almost an hour and a half, so I am going to stop with this one. I'll probably just start right up again after the video, but I don't want the video to be too long. All right, so we have 1, 2, this is actually 3, 4. Fun. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to visit Scrap and Create to purchase your supplies. There is a link down below and a link for the cutting guide down below. I've got a couple of discount codes down below. One is for this beautiful glass mat. Also my Amazon list. Any of those things that you click on and use benefit the channel, so I appreciate it. And I will see you next time, and we'll keep going. Thanks again. Bye-bye.